By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Get him. Get him.
My intro slaps. Am I right? You're tuning into another episode of 20 Tim Minutes. I am your host, Tim McCarthy. This is a podcast that focuses on mental health through humor, insight, and personal stories. Welcome, episode 110. I cannot believe I've done this many episodes. How have I not given up yet? You know why? It's because people like you keep listening. If you're listening to this right now, I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means so much to me. I'm going to keep on going until the wheels fall off, baby. To learn more about me and the podcast, go to 20timminutes.com. That's 20 with Tim Minutes, only one M. Pretty easy to find me. You can always just type in Tim McCarthy Podcast 20 Tim Minutes and you'll find me. Don't forget I got merch for sale. You can buy $5 t-shirts, $20 hats. You can buy some stickers. You can do all that fun stuff. And you can download my app, which is in the App Store, Apple, Google Play, what have you. There's only two different types of phones, right? There's only you can go to Google Play or the iTunes Store. iTunes, I don't know what they call it anymore. It's like Apple Podcast. I don't know. Apple has us by the balls with all of their technology. It's like, oh, here's a $1,500 phone. Don't drop it. But you got to buy a case, extra charger, tempered glass on the front. I don't know. Apple, they're crazy. But we still buy it, and we still buy it. This week we have on Slick Vic Magyar. I think I'm pronouncing that last name right. She is a jiu-jitsu practitioner who is a great person. Mental health advocate. We talk about Reiki, mock Reiki. It's Reiki. They had body energy stuff with you don't touch the body. I don't know. I'm going to try it one day so I can stop thinking that it's kind of weird. Some people call it woo-woo science. I don't know. There's a lot of things I want to try. I want to try acupuncture. I want to try Reiki, mock Reiki. And what else? There's something else I want to try. I did one of those sleep deprivation tanks where you float in the water. I don't know if I recommend it. I did not have a good time. One, I can't swim, so me floating was weird. And they give you a little neck pillow and you float there. But I always feel like I was tripping balls. Everything was pitch black with a little bit of light. You can turn the light on, which is like purple, blue, whatever. But when I had the lights fully off, I was seeing my thoughts. I don't know how to explain it really, but I was seeing things that I shouldn't have been seeing. And I was weirded out. So I'll probably never do that again. If you have done one of those, let me know. I want to do a hyperbaric chamber too. These are a lot of things I don't know what they do, but it sounds cool. I'm just just give me a massage. I'm cool with the massage. Just crack my back, crack my neck, get me loose as a goose. Doesn't make any sense, but I like that rhyme. Adderall, still shortage. I had to call my prescriber again, and they're out of the XR, which is great. And oh my God, there's this one kid that works at CVS where I pick up my meds, and he just looks like an extra in a movie where he's think of your prototypical person that works behind a register. This is what that guy reminds me of. Not making fun of him. Probably a good dude. And I've dealt with him 3 times now, and he doesn't remember me, which is totally fine. He probably deals with a billion people. But he was super rude the 3rd time. I was like, hey man, what do I do? He's like, I don't know. We can try to get you at a different pharmacy. I was like, all right, dude, sorry for asking a question about my medication. So he said something to me, and I just looked at him, and I turned around and walked away. Didn't even say bye, didn't say thanks, nothing. I was like, you know what? I have no time for this guy right now. I'll figure it out on my own because I'm a big boy. And I did. So we're going to try to get the regular medication and just double that each day. So I'm going to be off the XR, the extended release, and we'll see how that goes. Need to get back in the gym. You know me. I'm going to keep complaining about the gym. But this episode is a little late because I was tired. There's going to be weeks where my thing is going to be delayed just for the sake of my work schedule. My work schedule is always going to be a little bit different because I work 4 on, 2 off. So my days change. So if I work a double before I have to record, good chance I'm not going to record. But yeah, Adderall makes me very emotional too, which is funny. I'll text people and be like, hey man, remember that time and this and that? And you're such a good person. That's what Adderall does to me a lot of the time. So if you get a random text from me, I'm probably all Adderalled up. I have therapy coming up, which is tomorrow or today or Wednesday, depending on when you listen to this. I'm very excited to talk to him. I've had a lot of things I've been working on myself. Big thing is like me not feeling like an adult. He gave me this book to read, and I don't read books, and I'm probably not going to read it. Um, but yeah, so my big thing is like I got to be more dependent on myself because I got to be more independent because I was too dependent on myself. And I got Hello Fresh now because I'm not a cook. I don't know how to cook. I eat like shit, but I got Hello Fresh and I'm making my own little meals. This isn't an ad for them. I'm not saying go buy their product, but it's working for me. Made a little sandwich today. Got a couple other recipes up in the cookbook, but I'm pretty excited about it. And it sounds like it's very silly that I'm proud of myself for cooking food, but I am. And I don't care who knows it because it's not easy for your boy. Because most people with ADHD have terrible eating habits where they binge eat. And I do that a lot where I'll like not eat all day and I'm like, fuck, I gotta eat. And I'll eat like a bunch of dumb shit and just feel like shit. You gotta take care of your body, people. Take care of it. Water, exercise, eating healthy. I'm doing like one out of the three. Barely. But I'm still living, baby. I'm still living. I can't deal with the darkness anymore. Every day feels like it's 10 p.m. no matter what time of day it is. I'm like, is it 10? And it's like, no, it's 3 in the afternoon. I'm like, feels like it's 10 p.m. They got to change this whole setting the clocks back and forward. Just make one time. It's like, oh, it's for the farmers. Who's farming anymore with that type of light? There's like natural light bulbs you can get that like mimic the sun. We don't need to do it anymore. I'm not a smart guy, but I'm pretty sure we can figure it out and not have to do it anymore. I'm looking at my screen where I'm recording from my podcast, and the waves are like really high and low. So I don't know if I'm talking too loud, but we'll find out. So hopefully this is at the nice ear level for you. All right, personal story about me and the podcast. So I get a lot of emails from time to time about people wanting to be on the podcast, and it's actually pretty cool. I'm like, oh wow, these people are reaching out. It's pretty cool. So I got one, and I'm gonna read you the email. I'm not gonna give away the guy's name. I'm gonna give her name because she's like the publicist or whatever. So I got an email and it says, I've been following your amazing podcast. We started following each other on Instagram. Looked on Instagram. I didn't know who this person was. I was like, okay. Most people just send that blanket statement of like, oh, I listened to your podcast, but they didn't. And I'm cool with that. Like, I kind of do the same thing. And I wrote back being like, what's happening? Thanks for reaching out. Currently, I'm taking a break from interviews as pretty booked until April, which I am. I got interviews like already done that are going through like April. However, if you want to fill out this form, I can keep it on file when I'm looking for guests. I can reach back out. My memory is pretty terrible, so this would be the best way for a reminder. I have people fill out this form so I can learn a little bit about them and get contact information and reply back. Like I'm pulling the curtain back a little bit on 22 minutes. So that's what I do. And I feel like it's logical. It's a logical thing to do for me. So I get a reply from her. It just says, oh, okay. I'm like, that's weird. I'm like, okay, whatever. Then she sends me another email. So when I originally wrote back to her, I spelled her name wrong. Her name's Courtney, and I forgot the T, so it came out as Corny. And I want to say that probably really rubbed her the wrong way, but obviously it's an accident. I just forgot to click the T. If she was following an amazing podcast, she knows that I can barely speak English, I can barely write English. So that was a telltale sign. She goes, my name is Courtney, not Corny. It seems to me we will pass since you're not really gung-ho on blank, since he's the big deal. Take care. Who in the fuck do you think you are? I was stewing on that for a hot minute. And you know me, I'm petty. I'm Tom Petty of this game. Just because a guy does a mental health podcast doesn't mean he can't start some shit, and I didn't start it. This was all you, Corny. So I replied back, sure, I'll just screw myself for needing a mental health break on doing a podcast I do by myself. But I appreciate your passive aggressiveness, Courtney. Have a great day. I was so close to writing corny again, but I wanted to be semi-professional, even though I'm not professional, but I kind of am, and I try to be. I was so close to doing that, and it would have been fucking awesome, and I didn't. So she wrote back, good luck. Thank you for understanding. I put blank first, and if it's not a fit, it's not a fit. Have a good rest of the week. Like, get your passive aggressive ass out of here. So what I wanted to do was message this guy on Instagram and tell him, being like, yo, like, this is your person, like, being like, oh, he's a big deal. But guess what? She controls the social media too. So we got in a little fucking tit for tat on Instagram, asking me why I was offended. And I was like, well, you were being passive. So she did say sorry, but we were still going at it, and she ended up blocking me from his account. Again, Tom Petty, I won't back down, but I won't back down. You can stand me up in my email, but I won't back down. So whatever. Fuck corny. Sorry, guys. I just had to get that out. I know it's been like 10 minutes already and I haven't really talked about mental health, but I really needed to vent about the corny situation. So hashtag corny. Um, and it's a bummer because that guy seemed like a really cool dude. And I would have loved to have him on, but I got to worry about myself. That's what I'm doing too. In March, I'm not doing anything on my real days off anymore. I would always appease to people being like, oh, they don't have any dates for me to talk with them or an interview or a consultation. Fuck that. I'm working on myself. If they can't do the date, then sorry. Not on them. It's on me. I need to work on myself. I need to go back to the gym, back to jujitsu, back to just kicking ass. You know what I'm saying? I want to enjoy my time, and I haven't been enjoying my personal time. That's self-care for you. Jesus. So it was Valentine's Day, a little late. Hopefully you had a good Valentine's Day. I don't really celebrate it. I don't know what the hoopla is. But approximately 15 million adults in the US said their mental health is worse around the Valentine's Day holiday, which makes sense. Being lonely is not good. My suggestion is find a support system, find friends, find something to do to make you busy. It's kind of crummy that you're probably single and you're looking at Instagram and people are like, oh, here's my Valentine. And this is the person I love and this person I've been with for 30 years. And it's like, I can't even get a second date. Fuck. I'm sorry, but there are apps out there I found out that are a little bit better than the old Tinder, probably get chlamydia type apps. You know what I'm saying? Like you need to find apps that are legit that can help you away. I guess there's one called No Longer Lonely, and it's the largest online dating platform focused on pairing and supporting singles with mental health issues. That's pretty cool. The website has received mixed reviews from users. Okay, that means it's not that great. And then there's OkCupid, an online dating service launched in 2004, class of 2004 right here. Updated their website last year to allow users the option of disclosing their comfortability with discussing mental health with the future partner. Since then, the platform continued to take steps towards further driving these to the type of conversations. Really cool. I like how you can push into mental health advocacy through these apps and dating apps. So you can be like, hey, by the way, I'm fucking crazy. I kind of like that. I kind of like being able to put that out front. A lot of people can put things right out front. They're like, hey, I like wearing a diaper when I have sex. Like stuff like that. I don't kink shame. Do what you want to do. I might not be into it, but that's the type of shit that you're going to probably find on the internet. And then Hinge is a good one. Company owned by the Match Group launched a self-care initiative last year in an effort to encourage members to share their wellness journey. That's very cool. But yeah, pretty cool. Go find yourself a date or go love yourself. I'm always saying self-love is the where it's at. You can't love somebody else until you love yourself and be comfortable with yourself. Okay. No matter who you are, what you look like, where you come from, be happy who you are. That's all I got to say about that. You're the best person in your own life. Don't forget it. And that's from 10 minutes. Have a good one. No, I'm just kidding. It's not over yet. We're still going. Rockin' 110, episode 110. Oh, man. Life fucking stinks sometimes, right? Oh, man. So with the podcast and that email with Corny, I feel like a little bit of imposter syndrome again. If you don't know what that is, it's a psychological occurrence in which an individual doubts their skills, talents, and accomplishments and has a persistent internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. Yeah, that's me like every day. Like I'm a mental health advocate. Know what really gets me? That like I always think about this. If I was like popular or famous and people listen to like all the interviews I've been on, my story kind of doesn't line up. And it's not because I'm lying. It's because I don't remember like the years between 2015 to 2020. Like everything is so fucking jumbled for me. And that's how bad I was because I was never good with dates. I'm terrible with history. I'm terrible with people's birthdays. I'm terrible with like a lot of memory stuff. And people just think I'm lazy. It's like, no, I'm just fucking stupid. And yeah, man, it's like I totally forgot what the hell I was just talking about right now. That's what I'm saying. But the imposter syndrome is real with me, and I always feel like I'm as a mental health advocate. Oh yeah, my story's being straight. Jesus Christ, that's what I'm talking about. My memory is trash. I'm like Dory. It's because like when I got diagnosed, I was still like in a funk, and I went to like one therapist and went to another therapist. Like the only thing I remember is when like on May 5th, 2019 is the day I was going to attempt to kill myself. And everything leading up to that was like such a blur. Like I remember, like I always tell people, like I feel like it was the movie Get Out without the racism. It was like me in a body that wasn't controlled, but I was still in the last seat of the row of like a movie theater, and everything was just going. So like if I had to write a book, it would be like a Tarantino film because I don't know what order it came in. I don't know if anyone else has done that, like people in my position with ADHD or bipolar or what have you. Um, it's just one of those things that kind of bugs me a little bit. And what are you gonna do? Yeah, I don't know. There's a thing like I don't like talking about like politics or gun violence or anything, but like there is a problem with guns. I'll say that. Um, whether it is whatever side you're on. My big thing is like I think there should be some sort of mental evaluation before you own a firearm. Just like I put myself in that shoes because my license to carry expired when I moved. So I tried to get it back. And the reason I wanted to get it back was because I was going to shoot myself in the head. So if I had a mental evaluation, they'd be like, this guy shouldn't have a gun. That's what happened to me. So I moved from Quincy, Massachusetts to Whitman, Massachusetts. I had my license to carry in Quincy. It expired when I moved to Whitman. So each police department told me to go to the other one. And I was just like, I'm not dealing with this anymore. But I guarantee you right now that if I had my license to carry and I bought a gun in the year 2019, I would not have this podcast right now and I would be dead. That is a stone cold fact. Like I was messaging my buddy who was a cop being like, yo, what's the deal? Like, how do I get this fixed? When no one knew what was going on. I don't think I've really told that to many people, but yeah, that was like a big thing for me. So like I'm never owning a gun. Hopefully there's not an apocalypse or I'm gonna be like the fucking bow and arrow guy or the nunchuck guy. I don't know how I would do in a post apocalyptic world. You know what I'm saying? If I'm just going out there with nunchucks, I'm not lasting long. Nunchucks, a machete, and a bow and arrow would probably get me a good season of a post-apocalyptic movie or a show. It's okay if I'm going down. I'm going down swinging. That's my main focus when it comes to that stuff. I don't mind losing. I don't mind being wrong. But if I'm going down, you're coming with me. Okay? Bow and arrow guy. Fuck, I'd be so dead. I've been playing this game called Stray, where you're a cat. It sounds ridiculous, but it's a great game. I don't know why I brought it up. I was just playing it right before this. I took my Adderall super late, drank a Red Bull, and I'm still doing this episode. It is 1 a.m. on Wednesday morning, and this episode was supposed to be out on Tuesday morning. What am I doing with my life? Now I'm in that awkward position that it's like almost 18 minutes, and I have 2 minutes left, and I have like two different topics I want to go over because this email lady really fucked me up, corny. I'm still salted about it because that guy was on a different podcast with a friend. I'm friends with him on a podcast, their podcast host, and I was like, "Yo, what's the deal with this lady?" And he's like, "Oh, she's pretty cool." I was like, "I don't think so. I don't think so." But that's just me. Three things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for my coworkers. I'm going out for co-working. Co-working. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm going out with the coworkers for a work party. We're going to this little Apex center where you can do like go-karts, bowling, all this shit. I have a pretty good crew of coworkers, and so I'm pretty grateful for them. I'm also grateful for my medication. I have that new one I was telling you about that helps me sleep. I took it last night. I went to bed super early at 10, and I was like, I'll take this medication and I'll wake up early and get things done. That did not happen. I woke up with 5 minutes to spare on a consultation I was doing for another podcast. So I don't know if that med is going to be good for me or not, but at least I'm sleeping a little bit. And thirdly is I am thankful. What am I thankful for? I'm thankful for the connections I made through this podcast, whether it is my friends that listen and share it, or people that listen to it and share it with somebody else, or somebody I met through the podcast. Mine is corny, is very cool, and I'm very thankful for that and grateful for that. So I do appreciate everyone that listens. I know my three things I'm grateful for are kind of the same shit every week because one, I keep forgetting that I have to do that, and two, it is what I really appreciate out of everybody. I thank you guys so much. So next week, I got two great topics that I didn't even go. It's girls with mental health and the LGBTQI plus community when it comes to mental health issues. Real quick, women are experience more mental health issues than boys, and the LGBTQI has a lot of risk factors when it comes to mental health issues like coming out, rejection, trauma. a bunch of stuff. So we're going to deep dive into that next week. But yeah, this has been a fun episode. I think I pretty much talked about nothing and everything at the same time. I love you guys so much. I thank you, and have a good one. And we're clear.
Get him. You can kiss my ass.
This podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you are feeling suicidal, please dial 911.